Hey everyone. You would think I would do some of my final grooming prior to hitting record. However, I did not. So, welcome to the podcast. My name's Ro. I made it. Eee, eee, uh. Soon I will have. I'm gonna go back to my Rodecaster soundboard in the near future, which will allow me to have my sounds back. Now, if you're like, oh, we remember those and you didn't really do them that well, but wasn't having them better than not having them? Like there could have been applause or cheering or any number of of uh, emotions, but no. Um, Speaking a little bit of a format change, I have in my strokiness post operation. Oh fuck, I got to talk about that too real quick. I'm going to do a format change. I'm going to try to remember to come back to that. Chances are maybe another show. I will. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. For I always forget. I talk to a lot of you that listen to the show. I interact with you. I hear from you, no matter what format that communication may happen to be. So I know that most of you knew that I had survived my knee replacement surgery, knee revision surgery. I had a partial knee replacement in my right knee, and they changed that to a full replacement. So it was called a revision surgery. And Dr. Cotwall did an amazing job. I am 5 weeks yesterday post-op. So I was coming home 5 weeks ago today. So this was my anticipation. My anticipation was I was going to come home. So I had surgery on a Wednesday. I came home on a Thursday. And my anticipation was to do this show, my post-op show, 2 days post-op. So this is where that soundboard would be good because there could be some crickets chirping there. Um, so that did not work out. I am obviously doing that show I meant to do 2 days post-op. I'm doing that now, almost 5 weeks later. Like this will be released 5 weeks later from my actual surgery. So for those of you that are not in communication with me, which I know there's many of you that are not, for those of you that listen to the show and I disappeared, I would love to think that many, if not all of you, thought the worst, that I had perished during, it was a tragedy. I was doing so well post stroke that for something like this to happen just doesn't make any sense. I would have loved for all 7 to 9 of you that I don't communicate with that listen to the program across this beautiful world of ours that I'm alive. So I made it. I just did. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. So I think I made such a quick recovery at the end. Like the end. They're like, wow, that was fast. Like, usually it takes a little bit longer for you to be doing what you're doing. Um, so I think I had a baseline of that, which was un uncooperative with my current situation. So here's the deal. So I was supposed to do this show on Friday. Probably I think I was going to release it that Friday too. So I was going to do it Thursday or Friday when I got home. So, the surgery, blah blah blah. And surgery. And I didn't. So, and if you're like, "Oh, well, you missed that show." I missed 22. I missed 22 interviews. I had to cancel 22 interviews. Now, I don't know what I was thinking. These interviews were made when I knew that I was having my knee replacement surgery. Now, I think they were a week closer because I pushed the surgery back a week. So I think that they may have been, but nonetheless, even if you just cancel that first week, which were 3, you would. So I was going to do interviews on Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays. No, excuse me, Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. 3 interviews a week, and then I was planning on doing a solo show once a week. And so by this time, like 5 weeks post stroke, if I would have kept that original schedule, oh my gosh, and I don't know where I came up with it. If I would have kept that original schedule, I would have enough shows right now to last me till November, probably. I could do some holiday shows. Ho, ho, ho. Speaking of which, I'm going to grow my beard back. We'll talk about that now or sometime, maybe not. Or maybe you'll just say, hey, he has a beard at some point. Or I may, like has been the case the past 3 years, let it go for like a week, 2 weeks, then I shave it off. I mean, if I would have let it go stroke wise, especially when I couldn't remember anything like the first few months, that would have been a great time. I would have just, I have a beard, which would have been shocking and interesting. So I made it through surgery. Surgery was great. I cannot feel my right side. So the knee has not really been an issue. I would say it's not been an issue. And I just got distracted. So I'm going to answer something that maybe none of you are thinking about. So this that I'm pointing at, you have to be looking. There's a picture I put up there. So we're getting ready to paint. We're getting ready to, we just have to coordinate our schedules. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, that is a picture of our last Doberman, Dakota, who didn't like the cold. Now, Dobermans don't like the cold. Now, it's not like they don't like the cold. They'll go out and run and jump. They love the snow and everything, but their bodies, they low body fat and very thin coat. So they are not acclimated to 0 degrees Celsius, sub-zero temperatures, so they're just not acclimated to that. So she had a bear outfit that she wore. And if you're like, hey, Ro, why did you buy your fierce Doberman a bear costume? Well, my answer to that would be, what is scarier than a Doberman? And if your answer was not a bear, like bear should have been on your list. Like if you had a list of things scarier than a Doberman, bear should be on that list. And if it's not, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I don't want to be chased by either, but I would rather be chased by a Doberman than a bear. Because I would love the Doberman so much that it wouldn't bite. That's how this mine, and that's how this mine worked probably before the stroke as well. That being said, so yes, the Doberman does look scarier, more fierce than not wearing the bear costume. That being said, again, I think I just said that being said. I'm thrown off by not wearing my glasses. I can't see. I'm an old man. I mean, and I don't know why I have to see me. I am gonna have to see my notes at some point. So we had a picture of Dakota in the bear costume, and she's beautiful. And this is a painting, a rendering, a painting of that picture. And so I put it up there. And then when I got here, I noticed that she kind of looks like maybe an end table. I mean, like, if I asked you to guess what that was and you said Doberman in a bear costume, I would say, no, you did not know that. Or, better yet, I would just believe you and then ask you for lottery numbers. So, Doberman. Speaking of Dobermans, if you are in need of a Doberman, and I will tell you this, I am a Doberman lover. I fell in love with the breed from my friend Tony Younger. He introduced me to the show Magnum PI. And I remember thinking the two things that I remember thinking when I first watched Magnum PI is that the guy does not fit in his car, his head's sticking out of the roof, and those dogs are beautiful. Oh my God. And so, even though growing up, I had a Dachshund was our first dog. We moved to Kansas. We got a Norwegian elk hound. Um, so that Dachshund was the last dog, and this would have been like she was gone by 70, I don't know, 76, let's say. Let's say 76. And then Buffy came in, Buffy the Norwegian elk hound came in a few years later. So start 76. I didn't have a dog. So a Norwegian elk hound, their tails roll up on their back. And talk about, I mentioned how the Dobermans don't have fur. I mean, they have fur, of course, unless I guess they're bald. But they, an elk hound, I mean, you used to just be able to pluck that fucking shit out. I mean, that dog shed so fucking much. I mean, if you're like, you're cussing about shedding a dog shedding, like that's really what you're gonna curse about? Because I'm not sure I've cursed previously in the show. Yeah, this dog shed that fucking much. My mom would probably cuss. Like if I told her right now, hey, whatever. If someone told her that she had to take a Norwegian elk hound, she would not do it. No matter what else benefited her? Like if they said, "Hey, you have to take care of this Norwegian elk hound, but you get $1 billion," she'd be like, "Nope, I'm good. I am good." So, that dog shed a lot, but their tails rolled up on their back. So even though they would wiggle, wag, whatever you want to call it, it was on their back. So it is so weird. So next door, Elvis, our next door neighbor, not that Elvis. I mean, is he still alive? I don't know. If I was going to believe in a conspiracy theory, I don't know why that's the one I would believe in. And I don't know what his age would be now. So 42 and 77. Gosh, dang, that's what, 50, almost whatever. I can't do the math right now. But he's probably dead. Even if he were alive, which he's not. And then Bubba Hotep just came into mind. If you don't know what Bubba Hotep is, it's a movie about Elvis and a lot of other stuff. It's a supernatural thriller. And if you're like, with Elvis, not so much with Elvis, but perhaps about Elvis. Let's just say that. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. So anyway, we had a Norwegian elk hound, and then it was Dobermans. So after that, it was, and no tails there. So I was gonna say, so Elvis. That's where I got distracted. So he lives next door. Elvis is a Melanistic white German Shepherd, which means it's a purebred German Shepherd, but it is completely white, and it is just he is beautiful, and I love Elvis to death, and his sister Mia. She's cute, but I've almost lost enough digits to her trying to feed her stuff that she's so small. I don't understand why she wants to bite me so hard, or everyone at that point. I've often said that Elvis, and then down the way Jilly, who is a golden retriever and just beautiful as can be, probably dumb as a sack of rocks. I'm going to be honest with you. Dumb, probably. But at the same time, she seems very smart. Like, so I don't know. I don't spend enough time with her. But I've often said that those two dogs are dogs that if I couldn't have a Doberman, I would take them. I was incorrect about that, which, I've been incorrect about a lot of things, but I definitely would not have another dog different than a Doberman. I just couldn't do it. I mean, it's just, I can't explain it. It is just trust me. Okay. That me and Dobermans we are the ones that there's a reason I'm with that dog. Not that type, that literally that breed of dog. Speaking of which, Douglas Doberman in Osawatomie, Kansas has litters. I believe he may have some puppies available now. Don't steal mine. And he has upcoming litters. So if you are in the market for a Doberman, and you are looking, even if you have to make a drive across country, I am telling you that, making a note. There we go. It is worth it. Reach out. You can go to douglasdobermans.com, I believe. You can find him on Facebook as well. Douglas Bergback, he owns and runs. I've known Doug, communicated with Doug for quite some time. Doug gave us a Doberman at my 3 months post stroke. And what ended up happening is that we'd put our Doberman down 3 months prior to my stroke. So now we're at 6 months prior to me losing my dog and stroke. And so I'm going through a lot of new things. We all are trying to figure things out. And I had been in communication with Doug, and I was like, "Hey, can we come down and see your pups?" What I probably said was, for me, mental, it'd just be good to see the pups and stuff like that. So we went down and we saw all these different pups. I mean, I posted pictures. They were so good. And I actually posted a picture on Instagram. If you go at The Stone Genius on Instagram, I posted pictures, and I posted, I fell in love today, or I think I fell in love, or something to that effect. Probably I fell in love, not I thought. There's probably a definitive statement of me falling in love. And it was with a dog named Indy. And she was just beautiful, beautiful black, which generally we alternate between blacks and reds. There's 4 different colors they're multiple different colors, but 4 that are recognized: black and rust, red and rust, which a lot of people call chocolate. It's called red, actually, is the definition for the breed. Fawn and rust, which is a light color, and then blue and rust, which looks like a black Doberman, except in sunlight it actually looks blue. Those last 2 are less seen. I can't even remember the last time I saw out in the wild, meaning just like at a store, on a walk, at a park, anything, a black or a fawn Doberman. Generally, you see blacks. Reds get a lot of comments on them. I am just not clean. I keep thinking maybe it's my eye that needs to be clean, because I keep thinking that it's my glasses that I need to clean. And then I clean it, and it's still there. So we were going to go back to black should have been in our rotation, the next Doberman that we got, if we were going to get one. So we talked. I fell in love. Doug and I talked. Indy was 4 months old, was needing a home, still did not have a home yet. He thought that her and I would be a great fit. I agreed. We discussed. He was generous beyond belief in providing that dog to me to help with my recovery from my stroke. However, I knew I wasn't ready for a dog at that point. even though I wanted one so bad. I was scared, and I think I actually verbalized this with Bobby. I said, "I'm afraid if we don't do this now, I will never have the chance to own a Doberman like this again." And so 3 times Doug delivered to us Indy, and they're about 45 minutes away for us. So 3 times, like in 5 days, 3 times in 4 days. It was delivery, return the next morning, delivery, return the next morning. I was out of my mind because I wanted the dog so bad. But when it was around, I knew that my head space, I wasn't post stroke long enough to be dealing with such a beautiful animal, a loyal animal, but a smart animal that needs to be challenged and worked every day, and just knew that that was going to be difficult. I think I could have done it, but I was so scared that I couldn't do it. There's nothing since that time that showed that I wouldn't have been able to do it. It was a fear, but it was a fear because we didn't know how someone like me was going to react to my stroke. So, so we returned to Indy 3 times. Indy found a wonderful home. See, this is where applause. So when I get my soundboard again, uh, Indy just absolutely beautiful. And the funny thing is, so we switched carriers, phone carriers for the first time and since the early 2000s. So over 20 years. We had been with Sprint and then T-Mobile. And we ended up leaving and going elsewhere, and I got a new phone. And then I ended up having my stroke, like literally immediately. So there weren't very many pictures on my phone. I actually think there were some, like me taking pictures of hospital food or whatever, just stupid stuff. Just very few pictures. And so now I have to look at my calendar in front of me. I am 34 weeks post stroke. So whatever that is. So I'm 34 weeks post stroke, and the I forgot what I was talking about now. Anywho, yeah. So I still have the whole memory, the issues thing. So going on. So anyway, I gave Indy back 3 times, and Doug was gracious and generous. And honestly, if I was him, I probably wouldn't have talked to me before. I mean, there were a couple times I sent texts, and I was like, he didn't answer. Like, I'm waiting to see the dots or something come back, and I don't hear anything for a couple days, and I'm like, oh shit. And then he answers, and I know he's busy, but anyhow, anyway. Excuse me. Um, so being 8 months post stroke now in that neighborhood, I am anticipating having a Doberman arrive in about 8 weeks from now. So about the 10-month mark. End of August, I believe, middle of August, end of August is what we're gearing for. This Doberman should be the same age as Indy when she arrived. I should have pictures and a name. I will ask Doug. I don't think I've ever asked him how often they use their name. So they have collars to go with names. So I don't know if they look and they're like, okay, Luna, okay, Indy, okay. I can't come up with a third name for a dog right now. Buffy, because that was one of mine. Dakota. So I don't know how often they are, because I do have a couple of names that I have wanted to use. I got overruled last time with Dakota. I Dakota, that was fine. It was a fine name. It was fine. It didn't I'm thinking like any of her dogs, like any of their names had any uh like Bella. I don't know. Bella. I mean, it was fine. Um but like Dakota, it didn't have any oh well we're from the Dakotas originally, so we named her Dakota. And yes, I believe that's how someone from the Dakotas then and now sounds. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. So I don't. The two names that I have would be, and because they're gonna be um females, we've always had females, so I'll have a female. Would be either I'm a big Lou Diamond Phillips fan. If you've never seen the movie Bats with Lou Diamond Phillips, I highly recommend it. If you're like, hey, did I miss an Academy Award winning film? No, you did not. If the name Bats, and I don't know if that's the sound a bat makes, but we're gonna say it is in this instance. Not award winning. And there's probably like a bat award, like best movie featuring bats. This number of bats. I mean, I don't know what the threshold is or whatever. So let's just mainstream award winning. Let's say that mainstream awards. But I'm a big Lou Diamond Phillips fan. But Lou is a male name. I guess it could be a female name, but it would be short for Louisa. So why wouldn't you just name her Louisa Diamond Phillips? LDP. That's what she would be. Louisa Diamond Phillips. Louisa. I love that name. Louisa Diamond Phillips Martin. Because she would have to have my last name. I refuse if she won't take my last name. I'm old fashioned that way. And that's how I think my wife thinks I sound. That's how I sound to my wife, is what I think whatever. Like, I hope I'm not saying that and like Doug's listening and like, he's forgetting a lot of things. I will not forget the dog. The dog will always be by my side, which is cool. My first Doberman was like that. I mean, it was bitch. D was honey. Gosh dang. I remember when Bobby and I got together and we're sitting on the couch. We are next to each other. I mean, pretty sure we had clothes on, but we were like, right there. And D comes up and she puts her first leg up and her second leg up, and then she just stares at Bobby. Like, stares. Like, whatever stare that Doberman gave her. And I'm pretty sure there were no teeth shown, at least by the dog. I don't know what Bobby did. Like, I don't know if Bobby tried to assert dominance and was like, fuck this shit. But I remember she got up there and put her feet, and like her feet were like almost on top of each other, like because she was trying to wedge in. And whatever look she gave Bobby, Bobby moved. Bobby was like, I will move. And the funny thing there was, she would never chew Bobby's stuff up. So D would like, so Bobby had this, I remember the very first thing, or maybe the most memorable thing, was like a makeup brush with a long wood handle. I don't know how long. And D picked it up and she just like bit it down on it to put teeth imprint in there. Like maybe like she thought like, oh, in case you ever need to know, like for identification purposes, my imprint. She just like bit into it, and then so it wasn't torn up in any way. It just had these pressed deep into there. And I think it's somewhere north of 300 pounds per square inch a Doberman can bite. It is not funny. There's a trick to most Dobermans, how you get their mouth opens, which does not work with pit bulls. I will tell you. So we should have another Doberman coming, courtesy of Doug. Doug, I'm not sure he knew the whole reason why I wasn't a. I I wanted the dog so bad, but I knew it had to happen then. He wasn't going to be like when I got to 6 months, 7 months. When at the 6 month point, we kind of looked as a group at my therapist and things, that my doctors, whether they thought that I was capable for a dog. And everyone agreed that it was probably in my best interest to have one, probably in my mental health interest. Speaking of which, so let's do a slide change. So we're still talking about my knee. I know we were talking about Dobermans, but somehow Dobermans came because of the knee. I think. I don't know. So anywho, anyhow, anyway. Um what was I gonna talk about? I was gonna talk about something. I don't know. We're gonna have a format change. Ugh. See, I think about Doberman. I can't wait. Oh, I know what I was gonna talk about. So, because we're still kind of talking about my knee. I'm catching up. Give me a second. I hate that. So, with my knee, and hold on, I gotta catch up again. See, I forgot again. This is fun sometimes. Okay, yeah. See, I keep thinking Doberman. I have to go all the way. Okay, I'm thinking about Doberman and loving on Dobermans. Where do I love on Dobermans? In the bed. I know that sounds weird, but Dakota and Bella and Dee, all of them snuggle. They love to spoon me. I love to spoon them. Bobby does not like to be spooned. I'm assuming it would be from anyone, but I do know that I have gone at night and gone to put my arm around her gently and lightly, not like clomp. I have, and if I had a soundboard, I'd have a better sound than that. I put my arm around her, and as soon as she feels the pressure of my arm hit her skin, she flings my arm off. I mean, she flings it off with a force that should detach my arm from my body. Luckily, it has not ever. Has my Dobermans ever done that? No. You know what my Dobermans do when I snuggle one? They make cute sounds and nice faces, and they breathe on me and they kiss me. I just have a different relationship with that dog, that breed, that I can have with Bobby. It's not, I really think, whatever. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. Um, that relationship that I have with the dogs and snuggling with them, gosh darn, they're so cute. So my arm, and I'm sure this is fun. When you're watching, I know this is why I love doing audio. And I know that most of my video shows were interviews and not solo. There were a lot of solo shows. And I fought this on those solo shows as well, keeping my eyes open. I like to close my eyes and think about what I've seen, or forget about what I've been talking about. So I made it. Curiosity of my pain. Um, so I'm still figuring stuff out. So I am 5 weeks post-op, and I have been having a lot of hip pain on that side that I had my knee replaced. Can't feel my knee. So here's some weird things. So I cannot feel my knee replacement at all. Like if I stretch it too far, I can tell that it won't stretch anymore, but I don't have any pain. I took 0 pain meds at the hospital. When I got home, as I put down here, my hip said hello. Now, I know that there's a lot of articulation of your leg to make sure that your implant is properly seated, whatever the terminology is. This could be that. I will say this. Yesterday, I tried to go to the pool, and tried. There are a couple of things. The main thing yesterday that kept me from the pool, or one of them, there's always another one. So one of two was it was hot as fudge sickles. Which doesn't make any sense because fudge sickles are cold, and if they were warm, they would be called chocolate milk. Boom, boom. See, soundboard. I would have known. I was ready for that drum rim shot. That's what it's called. So anywho, anyhow, anyway. Let's see. What was I saying? Let's see. Oh, my hip. So I go to the pool yesterday. I can only manage 45 minutes. So my knees all bandage up. I still have 1 week before I can submerge it, so I can't get in the pool and enjoy it, which it may not be cool enough to enjoy at this point. It's so fucking hot. And I think I went early enough to beat the day's primo heat, which I'm sure I did. However, that did not prevent me from having it. I hope Jason listens to this. Hey, Jason, if you're on holiday, I hope you're enjoying your holiday. Because I don't know if I'm using this, but it was hot as bollocks, which hot as balls. I don't think I used that right. So anywho, anyhow, anyway, I'm using it anyways, hot as bollocks out. So when I get home, I lay down on the floor, and the fans on, the air conditioning's on, and we keep it at a nice balmy 73 degrees. And most people keep their air conditioner cooler than that. We keep ours at 73. And so the 73-degree air is blowing on me. Actually, it should be cooler than that because it's trying to draw it down to 73. And I'm enjoying it. I understand why Bobby likes to lay down on the floor when she's hot and next to the vent. Never really understood it. I never questioned. I never asked. Didn't care. Like, it didn't really impact my life, and it wasn't a question. Maybe I didn't want to know the answer. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, I did it. I was like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. So the air is blowing on me. And I'm trying to cool down. It has just been hot as can be. And okay, let me back up a little. See, this is why I got to close. I got to remember the story I'm telling. So when I went to the pool, I took a fanny pack that had bandaging apparatus so I could bandage my knee to cover it to prevent my new scar from being exposed to sunlight. And so I carry those things in a fanny pack. And that's what I carry in that fanny pack. So I can make my own bandages. When I got home, so I wear that home from the pool. When I got home, I forgot I was wearing it. I am not a fanny pack wearer. My friend Curtis, the one who passed away, that resulted in me meeting my wife, Bobby, he was a fanny pack wearer. Like, he wore a fanny pack all the time, which he was a very good friend of mine. I never questioned his fanny pack usage or why he wore one in the first place. I didn't give a shit. I mean, I was not liking or disliking Curtis because of his use of a fanny pack. But I am not a fanny pack wearer. So I forgot, even before, when I would go somewhere, I had it stretched out. I didn't wear it as a fanny pack. I wore it around like more as a sling bag. I wore it to wherever I needed to, and then I'd unclip it. But for whatever reason, I decided that wasn't good enough. It was set up like that. In fact, I struggled with my right hand. I struggled to tighten that up, and I got it so it would go around so that it wouldn't fall down Like, I didn't have to walk with my legs spread apart to keep the fanny pack up. Like, it stayed above my hips, but it wasn't super tight, but it was there. And so I get there, I'm laying on my left side, my good side, the side that I can feel. And I am feeling the air, and I'm going to get up, and I roll over, and I'm just like, I feel off. I don't know what it is. And then I sit up, and then I'm sitting up, and I feel like something's off, but in my head I don't know what I'm processing, because I don't I feel like I'm off, but I don't really have a feeling. It's more of a almost like it's optical. I don't know how to explain it. Or my good half is trying to fill in for my bad half. I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden I shift and I kind of fall and I like reach down. I'm sitting on my fanny pack. It was squarely underneath my buttocks, my right hip, the side I can't feel. So I could not feel it. I had to shift off it. And if you're like, you shift off your fanny pack, yeah. I was carrying medical things in there. So I had like 2 inch, I guess, 2 inch wide Coban tape. I think at least one of those rolls, if not two. I had multiple rolls of paper tape, which I have to use. I have bandages, which I keep in a hard plastic case in there, because I also have a little pair of scissors, which go inside the hard plastic case. Uh, so it is quite, and I even showed Bobby. I was talking about it, and it's even like if you like sat it down and you like picked it up as a sandwich, you would not want to eat that sandwich. It would be massive. Okay. So I fell off the side of my fanny pack because I forgot I had it on. And then I felt back there, and right where I've been having pain, that's right where I was sitting on that. So maybe I've been sitting on stuff that I don't know. Maybe stuff's been happening to my right buttock that I am unaware of. Maybe it's aliens. I don't know. But yeah. So and that's the weird thing too, that since my stroke back on the end of October, the only pain that I've known on my right side is my stroke pain. And my stroke pain is pins and needles. Sometimes it's burning, sometimes it's icy. It always feels like stabbing. The more pressure applied, the greater I typically will feel. So if I'm pushing, which is weird. So like that's what's weird with the hip. So a lot of times before a lot of this neuropathy is new. Before I had no feeling at all, like zero feeling. And then I got the pins and needles feeling. This hip, for whatever reason, seems to be a more traditional pain, which I'm not saying is better at all, but it feels like pain should have. Let me finish something that I may have been going down this path about Doberman. So we lost our Doberman the end of last July, almost a year ago. 3 months later, I had a stroke. We're now, whatever the math is from that, 8 months post stroke, almost 8 months post stroke. That being said, I have not slept well since my stroke. And generally, we talk about my not sleeping well starting with my stroke. However, I don't think I was sleeping well once we had to put Dakota down. She used to always sleep with me in bed all night long. Then my back, she was a 75-pound dog. And so our foam mattress, I would turn just a little, it'd tweak me, and it would mess up my back. And so I made her start sleeping on the floor for half the night. She could get up like at 4 a.m. Like every morning, whatever reason, we'd both wake up at 4 a.m. but she would get in bed with me and she would stay and we would snuggle. At the end, because her spinal stenosis was so bad, she could not. I mean, she would get in bed with me and she would the pain of getting off the bed was it was hard to handle. And then she just on her own stopped sleeping up there. She slept right next to me, and I do think that for me there is some relationship there that that I need. And so I don't think it has to do with my stroke. I think it has to do with not having a dog. So to finish, I will be getting a dog here hopefully in August. I know that story got deleted at some point. Sorry about that. Let's blame it on the brain. Can I do that? That would be good for a stroke. We should see if the National Stroke Foundation, and I am saying that with confidence like there is one. I don't know if there is one, but there should be. Can get that. I mean, like, first of all, they didn't really sing it. And then secondly, I'm not even sure if either one of the non-singers is alive anymore. So I don't know where we'd get the rights, but blame it on the brain. For strokies, that would blame it on the brain. And I was talking about Milli Vanilli, if we didn't know. So, if you don't know who Milli Vanilli is or their story, okay, so I just talked about that, stroke plus knee replacement. Oh, yeah, I am having to learn how to walk again. So after my stroke, of course, I had to learn my right side. I didn't know where it is. So this has changed my gait, the way that I walk. It literally, I don't know. But I walk a little bit differently now. And I'm still 5 weeks post-op. I'm still getting used to that. Like I'll walk and it sometimes looks like a strokey walk. Let's see. I have 2 notes from when I first did this weeks ago and then now. Okay, deleted all my interviews. Format change. I think I mentioned that earlier. I'm going to discuss that. Of all the interviews that I canceled, there is going to be less than a handful of them I may reach out to reschedule. It'll be because of their stories, whatever. I do have John Slatkin coming from the UK to discuss werewolves, which is now weird that we're doing this. He set up the time. I gotta see if there's gonna be a full moon. If he says, "Oh, we'll have to do it in the evening," no, we will not, John. Go back to your castle and turn into a werewolf if you need to. I don't want to be taken out by a werewolf. Not after surviving a stroke. Like that would be like if you turned me into I don't know if I'd want to be a werewolf. Like the only thing that I would find appealing about being a werewolf is running around naked. I mean, dogs don't care. They're licking their own balls. They're licking their own private parts. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm not even asking to lick my private parts in public. But if I could just show them, and I don't mean show them like, hey, look, but I mean, if you want to look, you can look. You don't have to look. I'm not just pretend like I have pants on. So format alert change. Gonna have very few guests. I will still have some. If I didn't have guests, I would have never met Sean Wickens. I would have never met Tim Lytell. I would have never started talking murder trailers, which she should be in high season. I have not communicated with Charlene in a while, but I mean, this should be like, I don't know if this is what they would call luring season, where you get them to the trailer and then, but But this is probably a prime season for her. I would have never met her. Jason, I would have never met. So I do need, if I find someone that I want to talk to, I'm going to talk. So if you and I are talking on my show, this would be like cheering on the soundboard, because congratulations, that means I wanted to talk to you. I'm going to do single shows. They are going to be about me and current events, like old times. And I know that I think a lot of people enjoy that. So let's see, what else do I have here? I'm going to try to wrap this up. An hour would be solo shows. I used to talk for 2 hours, but I really think that I can get most of what I need to. So here's one of the notes that I wrote. What was I thinking? Returning 2 days post op, and then I came up with capital W, capital T, lowercase a, capital F, which is what the actual fuck. Now I don't know why when I say that actual needs to be lowercase. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. Like, once again, I don't know what I was like. One of the things I was thinking about was going to physical therapy. And when I went to physical therapy back in the day for my first knee replacement, they had me warm up every day by filling one of those big metal cow troughs, for lack of a better term, with hot water, like 102 degrees, and soak my leg and get it. And so for some reason, I was thinking I did that almost immediately. Well, if they're not allowing me to submerge this leg till 6 weeks now, and I am assuming that everything is leaning towards being better and more efficient than it was 15 years ago, I would just, I forgot what I was saying. Man, that's how fast it goes. And I know it's something about recollection, so I know that's very funny that I can't recall the recollection. So anyhow, so anyway, the format's going to be going forward, me probably for an hour, maybe less. Let's see, what other notes do I have? Okay, so delivery systems. So I have been smoking with my prototype and it needs to be cleaned. My prototype for, I don't know, last couple years. And I love my prototype. In fact, they have a holster, and you're like, what? Yeah, they have a holster for the prototype that I was thinking about getting. And I've loved my prototype. It is wonderful design. I liked it, blah, blah, yada, yada. So then for some reason, me and someone that I know, we were discussing bongs. And I go, well, I have a bong. So after my stroke, we didn't exactly know what was going to be going on with my right side, even though I had spent a few weeks in the hospital. So my family, because they care, they got me a bong. And I would show it now, but I need to clean it. So I'm not going to. And it's not filthy. I want you to see it in its beautiful glory. But it is a big bong. So it was meant so that I could do it. Like I could pack the bowl one-handed. I could use the lighter, set it down, pull it out. It was big enough and substantial. It was big enough that it could handle someone with perhaps limited use of one of their extremities. Wide base, heavy, big, and that's what was suggested to them. And for someone that did have, and many people with my type of stroke do have this, very little use. Like, the issue that I have with my right side is I can't feel it. So I can move it. I have to know spatially where things are behind my back. I've been trying for 8 months to figure out, like, no, it doesn't work. Like this, like if I know something is basically somewhere, grab the back of the chair. I haven't even looked. I can tell by sitting the proximity about where that should be. Would have no fucking idea with my right hand. So a lot of the issues that I have are not quite what others would have and what others think. It is still sitting on your fanny pack, being, 3 or 4 inches off the ground and not knowing it, not feeling it. And then afterwards, I actually felt that pain, actual pain, which is the weird thing, in the hip. And I was like, maybe I would just, we're thinking something's wrong with my hip. Like, oh my gosh, you have a torn labrum. Is something, do you have arthritis? Does your hip need to be replaced? Talking about all these things. And it could just be that I sat on something and didn't know it. Like, didn't know it before, during, or after. Like I knew with the fanny pack, because shifted, and I found out that I was sitting on it. Maybe I sat on something and didn't know it. Which is how I met Bobby. Just kidding. That would have been a great time for a rim shot. Let's see. So, prototype. Love me some prototype. But I decided to use this gigantic bong. And it is like at night when I go outside. So we live on a golf course. We back up to a golf course. And there are coyotes on this golf course. Now, I have not seen any this season, but I have not been out much. But the few times I have been out, I have heard them. Because you'll hear sirens. They hear the sirens. They think it's someone talking to them, evidently. So they have to howl. And so you can hear where they are, proximity, blah, blah, blah. If I were attacked by one or more coyotes, or for that matter, if I was attacked by anything, werewolf, wolf, dog, wolf, dog, if I was attacked by any or all of those, I mean, that would be weird. I mean, I would just probably be like, it's my time. Like if I was attacked by all those at the same time. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. This bong, it would be great if I, like, a new Clue game, this bong in any of the rooms. Any of the people would do this bong in any of the rooms would kill someone. It is. So it will be cleaned and featured on the wall because, well, that's if I can get an anchor, I guess, now that I think about it, an anchor that can take the weight of this because, once again, it's very substantial. Bongi, though, and that's what I've named it, Bongi is a great delivery system. I mean, I may have made the mistake once if I was standing up and took a rip. Now, it could be that my knee kind of gave way. Like I felt like all of me gave way. When I think about this in retrospect, that bong is so big. It could have just, my body was like, oh, it's been too long, and like wanted to set it down. I did not fall or anything, but I was like, gosh dang, I can never, because first of all, if I dropped it on my foot, which would be best case scenario because it probably wouldn't break bongy, it would just break my foot. If it broke, oh my gosh, the shatter this bong would make. Ugh, can't. But for a delivery system, it is great. Now, I am going to go out there. My old bong, I don't know why I got rid of it or something. I am going to have to find something that maybe is maybe not the size of a small human. I mean, that's like if someone gave me their baby and it was this big and they're like, yeah, it was just born, I'd be like, this is a big fucking baby. And especially if it weighed that much. I mean, like a baby should weigh like, I don't know, 6 pounds, 7 pounds, 8 pounds, 6 to 8 pounds, let's say. Kilos, I don't know what that is. Bleep kilos, 4 kilos. This fucking weighs more than that. I mean, like if someone gave me this, like if it was a baby this size and of this weight, I would think Rosemary's Baby. I would. Yeah. Something definitely wrong. I mean, and not in a good sort of way. This is a, like I say, a big bong. Great delivery system, horrible at everything else. Oh, we're right at 1 hour. I should wrap it up. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Next week, I am going to be back. I am working on a new intro now that every time I think I get something done, a decision made, then with that decision. That being said, format, it's going to be like this. This is how I'm going to keep it. I just don't want to talk to other people, quite honestly. And if I do choose to talk to you, then yay, you. Yeah. So, but I'm going to work on a new, because I got the intro set up for having new guests. Like, I'm like, oh, every time I have a guest, I can just like picture and change the, and very little, I can do some changes, but this template, I was like, yes, oh, this is so easy. And now I'm changing it again. So that's going to change a little. I think I'm going to talk over, I mean, I'll probably be not paying attention to you, like staring off or having my eyes closed. So I think initially you'll hear me talking, but if you're watching, I'll be talking. And my goal is that the intro without the sound will be there and you'll see it. I don't know. We'll see if that happens or not. So I am glad that I'm back. If you thought I was dead, oh, that is so, that is sweet. That's one of the sweetest things that I've heard, that someone thought I had died. So I am glad that I didn't die, not because of you, because of my family, because of my wife. I mean, once again, I like my kids. I love my kids. I do. And I like them too. But I'm glad that I'm back for Bobby. And I know that she is too. So pretty soon I will requalify for some changes to life insurance, and that benefits our whole family. So yay us, yay them. Because I guess if it's life insurance, I'll be dead. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, thank you all for listening to the Stone Genius podcast. It's solo, it's me. Only voice you're going to hear, you may hear other voices, because I know there are other people that want to talk, and they will talk. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. Thanks for being. My name's Ro. This is the Stone Genius podcast. Thanks for listening. Talk to y'all later. Bye. Oh, I didn't hit stop. I hit